This is an olive oil chocolate chip cookie, and I am using it to demonstrate two different concepts. The first is how to scale without using deli cups, and the second is what happens when you substitute a liquid fat for butter. I can't say enough good things about using deli cups for scaling. For one thing, their footprint is very small, and their lids serve multiple purposes. They give me the option to stack ingredients. I can fit 2 recipes onto one half-sheet tray. I can see through the plastic, so I know what the ingredient is and what kind of shape it's in. I wash, sanitize, and reuse them until they begin to crack. Now it's possible to use any plastic containers or stacked bowl systems or cups that you have on hand, but if they don't have lids or if they are made out of glass, they take up more space and are less practical, especially in a busy kitchen where glass is not allowed in general. You can absolutely scale things ahead and use whatever containers you have in your home, but the reason I recommend deli cups is because they are efficient, they take up very little room, they are reusable, and I find them to be incredibly efficient. I had high hopes for this olive oil chocolate chip cookie. It came recommended from a viewer, and the dough right after I made it was some of the most delicious raw dough that I've ever tasted. After an overnight in the refrigerator, the dough became very crumbly, and the finished product was not only dry and crumbly, but I really didn't enjoy the texture or the flavor. I reread the notes for the recipe, and it turns out that the recipe developer made a direct swap from butter to olive oil. Butter is a beautiful water and fat emulsion that holds air as you paddle sucrose into it. Olive oil has no water and is a liquid fat that does not hold air cells. When this quantity of water is not accounted for, whatever water is left is going to be fought for by the biggest bully in the bowl, and that is what happened to these cookies. There wasn't enough water to hydrate the flour, and so the entire cookie became crumbly. This is the same thing that happens with a 1-to-1 swap for butter to brown butter. I think this recipe developer needs to take this recipe down and reformulate it to take into account the loss of water. That would be a legitimate, interesting cookie.